Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Today I have one of the most special cars I'll drive all year. This is the 2024 Jaguar F-Type R75, and it is the last of its kind. With Jaguar moving towards a more electric form in 2025, this is the send-off year. So let's say goodbye. Okay, so as usual, let's start off with the front end. This is one of my favorite looking cars I've ever driven in my entire time doing car reviews. So let's zoom in here. We have really nice daytime running LEDs as well as automatic high beams. We also have a blacked out Jaguar badge, blacked out R badge, because this is the R-Type. I've left that V8 running. So actually the way the hood works, or the way the engine access works, is this entire hood compartment comes right up, and it looks really, really nice in this gray, kind of grayish black color. It looks dark at night, looks gray in the daytime, looks absolutely unreal with these nice rims here as well. It is fantastic. Such a low ride height, very aggressive front end. I don't have any front parking cameras, but I do have a front parking sensor here, and it's very nice. I know a lot of people say that it does make the Jaguar of later years, so say 2019, 2018, look a little bit dated. And I have to agree with that, because it does. This is the most updated version of the Jaguar F-Type, and I would not have it any other way. I seriously want to own this vehicle. It's amazing. So next up, let's take a look at what is powering this Jaguar F-Type. We have a 5-liter supercharged V8 that's going to give us 575 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. Trust me when I tell you, this thing flies. We also get all-wheel drive, and we have an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is one of the fastest cars I've ever driven, and one of the most loud cars I've ever driven. Now, next up, we're going to take a look at the side. I'm going to move over here. The sun is making me have a bit of a shadow, but you can still see just the absolute unit of a side profile that this is. I love the big wheels. I love the red Jaguar labeled brakes, as well as we get a Jaguar logo right in the center there. And then we have another Jaguar logo, and then the outline of the car right on the bottom. Very nice. We have nice turn signal LEDs, and these door handles go in and out. So when I lock the car, it'll come in, and also when it's driving for aerodynamics, it'll go in. You can see the back wheel here too. We also get the UK flag on the tire thing, like I liked for the Jaguar F-Pace. The F-Type has it as well. And of course, last but absolutely not least, we have the rear for the Jaguar F-Pace. Oh my goodness, those taillights look fantastic. The low profile ride height looks absolutely fantastic. You can see in this shot that I have here right now is the exhaust is smoking because it's kind of cold. Amazing rear diffuser right here, quad exhaust, and they are loud. It is just idling the car. I'll come closer so you can hear it with the microphone. This is idle, and you can just hear how beefy and nice it sounds. We do have a backup camera right here. We also have a little wing. This part, this whole Jaguar label part right here, comes up when you hit about 110 or 120 on the highway, or you're really pushing it. The wing will come up, give you a little bit more downforce. You can put it up while the car is not on and not in motion, so just for cleaning purposes basically, but you can put it up. I'll include a couple shots of that when it's not moving. And we have a nice blacked out R badge. I like that everything's blacked out on this trim. And then of course, last but not least, we have a automatic opening tailgate. Got some cleaning stuff in here, brush. Not a lot of space. You're definitely maybe not going to be able to fit golf clubs or anything like that in here. Not a huge weekend, or not a huge road trip kind of stay kind of thing. Maybe a couple of days of a stay, a couple of bags will fit in here, but not too much. Also, this is where you're going to fill up your windshield wiper, because in the front there is absolutely nothing but V8 engine to access. So you have to have your windshield fluid in the back, but no complaints there. So let's actually hop on the interior. Let's check that out. Let's see what that's got to offer. We are far from done with the Jaguar F-Type. We're going to take you on the road right after we get in the interior. Let's go. All right, so next up, I'm going to give you a interior tour of the Jaguar F-Type. Let's open the big door up. Only 2 doors for this thing. We have all of our seat controls, as well as 3 memory seat settings. They're all here on the door. Nice Meridian sound system right there. I like this like trim here. You can get this in red, and I believe it also comes in a white, this interior. So now we'll take a closer look at the seats. Really, really comfortable seats with the Jaguar logo right there. Jaguar logo right here. Really, really nice racing seats. They're very low to the ground. You can see that if I kind of step back, that's as much gap as you got to get over to get into. So let me show you what that looks like. So we're going to sit down here, kind of scoot over. You really got to lift your leg over and in. So once you're in, we can close this door, frameless window, gonna shoot up for you. That did freeze on me once this week. That's worth noting. It was about -20 and it froze. So once you're in, greeted by this fantastic looking steering wheel, basic controls here. I got this for the digital gauge cluster. The gauge cluster is new in the recent years. I've got some cruise control settings, although why would you need that? I got some like plastic paddle shifters, which sucks. I would have liked to see some metal there. Left-hand side, lane keep assist, trunk control, fog lights, illumination, all standard stuff. So now let's take a look at the infotainment display here. I'm gonna click my button to get the menu up, and then I can go info panel, or I can go layout. There's a bunch of different layouts. Just like the F-Pace that I showed you, I could have it on one dial and then 2 pieces of information in the middle. I prefer the 2 dial. You could do full map, media, driver assistance, whatever you prefer. Media kind of looks like that. Driver assistance looks like this, and then full map obviously looks like that. And you always have your speed somewhere, obviously, but I prefer the 2 dial. It looks really classic with just the map in the middle, but you can change what is in the middle as well. You can also change a bunch of vehicle settings from here too, which is really cool. So I can go all the way back up, and then I can change some of the stuff there. You can see security features, the warnings, tire pressures, oil level, media stuff, driver assistance. You can turn it all off from here. It's pretty detailed little thing, and easy to use too, nice and quick. But I like to have the map right there. That's the setup I've been going with. And then if I change from mode to mode, you'll see that I have my rain, snow mode confirmed, rain, ice, and snow. And then I also have my dynamic mode, which I can press down and kind of turns the gauges red a little bit, which looks fantastic. Steering wheel feels really good in the hand as well. Got the Type R badge, or R-Type badge. Very good as well. Then we have these guys right here. There is some vents here that are currently hitting because I have the heat on my feet because it's freezing outside, but this will raise and lower as needed, which is really cool too. Little outline of the car right there on top. I love like all the materials in here. It all feels pretty premium, other than the plastic stuff here. That kind of takes away from the 135. No digital mirror, but that's fine as well. Then we go infotainment, very basic. It doesn't look that old, but I think in a couple of years it will start to. So unfortunately, if you're getting this like after 2024, because this is the last model year, very sad. We do have some ambient lighting that you can have. It doesn't give you a whole plethora of colors. You get what you get, and then it's the brightness, but I usually keep it on red, and it kind of shows. You can kind of see it starting to come out here a little bit there. And then we have built-in navigation, wired CarPlay, wired Android Auto as well. Pretty decent though. I mean, you're not fiddling with this, honestly. I mean, the only thing that you might fiddle with is this part right here, which is the dynamic, where you can have my setup, where you can see I have everything on dynamic except for the suspension, which I have in comfort, but the factory setup is everything, including the suspension, on uncomfortable. So there we go. Then you have a lap timer, which is nice, a G meter, which is even cooler, and then you have a throttle thing, so you can see how much I'm braking, how much throttle you're applying, and then you have a graph over a lap. You can probably get some good data off that, which is very cool. So built for the track, this car definitely is. Now I can move a little bit lower. I have dual zone automatic climate control. Again, could have gotten away with single zone, but we have it here, and then we have the Jaguar kind of push to activate heated and ventilated seats for both the driver and the passenger, which is fantastic. Then we have some auxiliary switches down here. I have a really fast heating windshield, as well as a nice rear setting here. Then I can put it on auto. Auto start stop button is there as well. Then we have this gear shifter here. So pretty plain little thing here. Reminds me of like a BMW one, I don't know why. And then you can kind of knock this to the side, put it in sport mode, and use the shifter for manual, but you can use the paddles if it's in sport mode too. Very nice. This is the dynamic controls here. Little volume control. Then we get to the cool stuff. So traction control off, absolutely scary. Didn't want to do that, especially not in the rain. Then we have our active valve open and close. So I can click this, and the car becomes a little bit quieter. I don't know if that's the audio is picking it up. If I put it back on, quiet for a second. You notice a slight, hopefully you can hear that in the audio. Then we have auto start stop. Then we have this button for the rear wing. Now, the rear wing will only open if the car is not on. So it can open, and it's only for cleaning purposes. It will open when you go 100 to 200 or 110 to 120 kilometers on the highway and stuff like that, or just on the track. Then we have a little bit of storage here, a little bit of storage there, little pocket back there where if you didn't have the privacy screen, you could probably slide stuff into the trunk, and then we can take a look at the passenger seat here, very similar to the driver's seat. Little button here that's going to pop open our glove box. Love that as well. And then we have a it's a moonroof, which I really like the design here. You could get a convertible. We also have nice Alcantara stuff up here, very nice and feely, very premium. little thing here, we can open and close it. I drive with it open. It doesn't open itself. If you want to have a more open F-Type, then you can go with the convertible. But I like the fact that this is really big, really, really nice to look at too, and just adds a lot of natural light into the car, which is very fantastic, especially with a black interior. You do kind of need some of that. But yeah, like I said, you can get this in red, white, whatever you want. It does come in different trims, but the black is fine. Black on black, can't go wrong. I'm absolutely in love with this thing, but let's take it where it shines. Let me see if I can get you to hear that absolutely wonderful V8. Let's take it on a POV drive. Let's go. Absolutely do this. Here we go. Alrighty, here we are on the road with the 2024 Jaguar F-Type, and this is the coolest, most fun car I have driven ever in my short reviewing career. This is it. So I have dynamic mode, as I showed you before. It's got everything in crazy mode except for the suspension, which I like to have in comfort, but a little rip right away. And that is just like not even full throttle, nothing. It's just fantastic is what it is. I love it so much. I wouldn't change it for the world. Honestly, like I've been stuck to this car like glue. I've been stuck to this driver's seat like glue, and also other people's eyes have been stuck to my car like glue. People can't take it everywhere I go. Usually, like I film, and people give me weird looks when I'm filming B-roll and talking and being myself on the camera and stuff. But this week, people have actually come up to me and like stared for a lot longer. So I really do feel like Exhibit A this week, if you will. I do feel stared at quite a bit, and I hope that I have my audio boosted enough so that you could hear the engine going in this thing, because oh boy, it's just so good. So as you can see, I'm just cruising along, and I mean, it does that absolutely no problem. It's a really, really surprisingly comfortable ride. The seats are also really surprising. You expect a sports car that rides like this, that's this low, to be a little bit rough around the edges in terms of ride quality. But as you can see, like I'm handling bumps and pretty much everything in between quite well. And I wasn't expecting that. And then as soon as I started driving, it's like, oh wow, it's actually quite comfortable. Obviously, in full sport mode, I mean, there's no help for you if you hit a big pothole. You're probably gonna feel it, but like, woo! I hope there is no friends in blue out today, because they will definitely like me because I'm doing the speed limit, like always. Like I always do. I always do the speed limit, especially in cars like these. These cars definitely don't get me in any trouble. It's just so good. Like, it feels so nimble when I'm driving too. Like, it's just, there's just not a lot like it, and it's the last of its kind. It's the last V8. There won't be another one after this. They're going all electric. So, and I don't think the F-Type will be replaced by an F-Type EV. I think that this is it. This is where the buck stops for Jaguar performance vehicles that have engines in them. I can't wait to see what Jaguar does after the fact, but at least until that happens, this is it. 2024 model year. Jaguar. It's incredible. It's so much fun. Okay, so I'm just going to pass here where it's, the speed limit kind of increases. I'm going to knock my shifter into sport mode. You can hear the downshift already. I can also increase I can like stop here. All right, we're going to go from a dig in like second gear. Let's go. Woo! And that's like, again, not really pushing that much. Like, I'm almost afraid to push it like as far as it can go. Like, I'm trying to be responsible, right? We have to be responsible, but you can hear the in the engine when I start to go. And if you don't want manual mode, you don't have to use it. Like, I can knock it back over into the normal drive, and then I can kind of put it back over into sport. You can hear it downshift again for me, and then I could wait till this car passes, and I could absolutely give it the guns again. Ho 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 ho. And when it shifts, let me tell you, when this thing shifts, even upshifts, downshifts, you can hear it. You can really, really hear it. Like I said, trying to be responsible. I also have winter tires on because it's still winter season for us. That was a nice tonality that passed us. it's still winter for us here. It's still kind of cold. The roads are kind of full of salt and different kind of crap, so it's hard to get like grip and sometimes, and I do slip, especially when I'm in manual mode trying to get it to go from a dig. So yeah, there is that to pay attention to. But like handling, you can tell like immediately that the handling is just absolutely fantastic in this thing, and like it's so easy. It's so much fun to just like slow right down, slow right down, slow right down, slow right down. There's nobody behind me, and just go. Whee! And as you can see, it absolutely redlines even without me putting it in manual mode. It redlines and it pulls without me having to do much. So you don't have to go into manual mode to make this thing absolutely redline and rip. And again, but look at that. I just absolutely broke my neck and I'm back to normal. Back to normal driving, doing the speed limit like a respectable human being. I was always doing the speed limit. You know, no problem. This car is a speed limit machine. It only wants to do the speed limit. You know, this thing on a track would be absolutely unreal, unbelievable. Oh my god, please, Jaguar, put me on a track with this thing. I think I could set some crazy lap time because it's so pointed when I turn the steering wheel. I feel so confident in this steering, in this drivetrain. I feel so confident I can do pretty much anything I want the car to do, and it responds. Like, I can chuck it up into, like, you know, I can turn really aggressively. I can kind of throw it into corners and throw it around, and it just responds to what I want it to do and what I need to do. And I think that's really important on the track. Also, the braking is really good, especially in this full sport dynamic mode. It's super, super solid. So you do hear the noise, like the wind noise and stuff, just a little bit. And here's one thing that happens, right? So I could be doing the speed limit, and the thing that's likely when you're driving a car like this is that you could have two cars not doing the speed limit, me and another car. I will be the one that gets pulled over 90% of the time, just because of the way that I look. So what I find happening a lot is people get behind me and then they start to tailgate me. They start to try to race me just because of what it is. And I've had this happen so many times. Well, I had it straight. I had to do it. I had to interrupt myself. But yeah, I've had this happen so many times this week where I'm on a 2-lane highway or 2-lane road like this. Somebody will come up behind me, either pretend to pass me, tailgate me hard because they want to hear the V8 rip. But it's like, I get that, I understand that, but it's like, it's super annoying when I'm trying to just not get a speeding ticket and not get a car towed that really doesn't belong to me. So it's like, it's super hard to stay out of trouble with this thing because other people kind of really like to entice you, at least here in Quebec. I mean, Quebec drivers are a different breed. They're like really, really not good. Me being a Quebec driver myself, I like to say I'm a good driver, and I'm sure that's what every Quebec driver says, but like, there's definitely worse than me, and I think the amount of experience I have in vehicles kind of makes me better than most. So, but yeah, if you do buy one of these cars, you do own one, or you even drive one, be prepared to be challenged constantly. And yeah, but the good news is 575 horsepower, supercharged, V8. You're gonna beat anybody. So anybody that wants a piece of you and you want to give it to them with the risk of getting in trouble, yeah, no problem, because that's so seamless that there's not a lot of cars on the road normally that can handle that kind of acceleration, right? There's not a lot of cars that are going to keep up with that, so you're pretty much going to win every race. So next I want to touch on quickly fuel economy, because it's actually been pretty good. I'm at like the 13 liters per 100 kilometers, and I've done about 200 kilometers, lots of city driving or like straight highway driving like this, where I'm going 80 to 100 kilometers an hour in between. So it's been pretty good, surprisingly, but I've really burnt through gas. So I feel like at times it's probably been a lot worse than that. Like, I feel like it's more on the aggressive side of maybe 15 liters per 100 kilometers. That would maybe suit it a little bit more, but yeah, it's just nuts how I've pretty much gone through 2 tanks of gas. But then again, I have been driving this car way more than any other press car that I've had this year, simply because of the fact that it is what it is. This is the last one. It's not like I can wait till next year and do the things I want to do with it next year. It's gone after this. There's no more. So I'm really, really taking my time and just enjoying it when I have the free time to enjoy it, and that's been pretty good this week. I've also got really nice weather. This car can be driven in all seasons because, I mean, Jaguar put this on the press fleet like mid-December, early December. I actually had it booked for like mid-January, and I ended up canceling it because I had a baby and I couldn't. There's no way I could do this at the same time as you know, taking care of like a 1 week old kind of thing. So I had to help my wife out. So anyways, but it does work. I mean, I know that other journalists have driven this in snowstorms, in ice storms, in crazy stuff. So there's something I want to touch on. I had like a really steep temperature drop a couple of days ago, and what ended up happening was my windows, these are frameless windows, they actually froze. So like the car kept thinking that doors were open because it couldn't seal this, so it kept thinking the door was open and something was wrong. So I couldn't drive it that day because it was just frozen. I had to park it in the sun and like try to turn the heat on, and eventually the windows didn't freeze, so that's good news. But it's just something to keep in mind that yeah, you might have to deal with windows freezing and unfreezing or not freezing, whatever. You're gonna have to deal with some winter stuff if you keep it outside in the winter. Had I parked this in a garage or somewhere warm, none of the things I'm saying right now would have mattered at all. Alright, so that just about does it for the Jaguar F-Type. We'll do one more little bop. Yeah, I'm in my element. It's super nice out, open road kind of thing, you know, sun's out too, no snow. I love this car. It's so, yeah, you're gonna have like those sports car problems, not a lot of storage, not a lot of people space, stuff like that, but I mean, you're not really buying that for that purpose. If you're buying it for pure speed, pure acceleration, and pure noise, Jaguar F-Type R75 is where it's at. I can't, I mean, yeah, it's expensive, but it's a sports car. What car is it? $135,000 is tested is crazy expensive. But I would put down that money any day of the week if it meant that I could drive this every day as a daily driver like I've been doing this week. So thank you so much for watching and supporting me and everything that I've done so far. You are the reason I'm sitting in this seat, and it is never, ever, ever, not once lost on me. So thank you so much from the absolute bottom of my heart for watching. Even if you've watched 2 minutes, 30 seconds, anything, or if you've liked anything, you've left a comment, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the reason I'm sitting here, and I'll forever be grateful for the opportunities that you watching my videos provide me. Please keep watching. Please keep subscribing because you help me bring you these things. I'm going to have like a super long, fully detailed week with thing. I'm probably not going to cut out anything. I'm going to babble and talk about this car in length and in depth and in just what it's like to own and live with. I filmed pretty much every day something for it. Everywhere I go, the camera has been on with this car. I want you to experience like I did. So just after this review drops, there's going to be that on the Wednesday, and if you're watching this like in a week later, then that video is already out on the channel for you to watch and enjoy. So please enjoy it. Please enjoy this car with me. Listen to the exhaust sound, and I hope you have the best night, evening, whatever it is. If you like this video, watch another one. It's the best way to help me out. Leave a like and also subscribe, because that gives me the ability to go to manufacturers and kind of be a show off and get cool cars for you guys and film them like crazy. So that being said, I'll see you next week. See you next video. Take care. Woo, that never gets old. Oh, I'm gonna miss this car. Goodbye, Jaguar R75.